What up, y'all? Welcome back to Pics Here. It Didn't Happen. I'm Fats King. I'm joined, as always, by my brother, the Yeti. I'm pointing at him somewhere. He's in the box up here.
That's me. It's a magic box. It's just me, right
God,
here.
God, you're fucking loud. God, you're fucking loud.
What up?
Are you channeling Whipstick since you're wearing a Fun Time shirt?
I'm just trying to be incredibly motivated and positive because we're going to talk about Astronomicon 6 and probably 3 and 4 as well. But most importantly, Astronomicon 6.
Six. Yeah. So, there was a lot of cool shit that happened. There was some bad shit that happened. We'll go over all of this. But so first of all, we arrived. We did our usual thing where we try to leave a day early if we can, if we have the ability. We were traveling with my lovely fiance Casey. I'm sure you all have seen her, and we were also traveling with the one and only Lady Zool. I'm not going to say her government name because if you know it, you know it. But anyway, we left out of Covington, fucking Kentucky, at about what was it, 5:30?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was Thursday evening. We left up early to get there.
There was a miscommunication between the parties where someone thought that they needed to be here way earlier than they were.
I was just trying to be polite.
I apologize for you having to sit in my parking lot for like an hour.
Yeah, I just played stuff on my phone and watched YouTube because what else do people do when they have nothing to do?
That is an indictment of our entire generation.
I should have gotten maybe
walked, looked at the sky, did human things.
Whittle a stick. I don't know.
I guess this is doing human things. Anyway, So we actually made really, really good time. And I think I only slept through a little bit of the journey.
Yeah, a little bit.
We got into our hotel, which is a really nice hotel. And when we laid down to sleep, we had no fucking clue what Friday was going to bring for us. No idea what was coming our way. So,
I knew the weather was supposed to snow, but I was like, all right, well, it's Michigan. I guess it'll be all right. I didn't know what Michigan snow was like. Is the problem?
Well, at Astro 3 it snowed, but I feel like it was already there when we got there. Like the storm itself is basically over, and it was just snow on the ground. There was a lot that got hampered because of the weather on Friday. Friday for those that don't know is the easiest day of the con because most people have not got there yet. Some of the guests haven't even arrived yet. It's a really light day to just walk around and size things up. And with this being Burton Manor, this being our first time in, the first thing I noticed, way fucking bigger than any place that we've been yet so far.
Yeah. And we actually, the first part of that was before we even got to see Burton Manor was we were doing Brews with Blaze sort of in the back entrance of the Burton Manor. So it was a separate area.
Well, that's where the concert areas took place, and this is where we started to realize what the weather was going to do to us because we were smart and we got in line early, which was a mistake because
that line moved quick. Emily gets those lines moving when they need to get them moving.
Absolutely. I mean, so here's the thing. This was my mistake. I fucked up. I have no problem admitting I fucked up. I didn't grab a beanie. I just grabbed a regular hat. Yeah. And for those that don't know, I'm bald. I'm very bald. So is he, but he's wearing his lame-ass Post Malone hat.
This is the best hat ever.
Cheapest fucking hat ever made. Fucking
yes.
I believe that's made out of the pop can rings that kill turtles. But
it might be.
Anyway, so I'm freezing my ass off, and I'm trying not to let that damper me because, again, I packed warm, but I feel like I fucked up again. No beanie.
Well, it was really warm when we left Kentucky. Really warm.
It really was. It was 70 degrees. So I was thinking light jackets, maybe hoodies when it's really bad at night. So we came prepared-ish. But when they let us in, this is something I will say about the venue music area. It doesn't seem big enough for the full event. It seems big enough for something like Brews with Blaze, the VIP party that has a smaller number, but I'll get to this when we get the actual show. Felt a little cramped at times.
Yeah.
Not like the Blind Pig where we were like suffering and dying, but
Yeah, it got a little what would I say? Like it got, especially towards the end of the concerts and stuff, when people started really moving around. It got a little warm in there. It was definitely
body heat.
Yeah, there was you could definitely feel the body heat, but you're right. It definitely wasn't, Blind Pig, like holy crap, it is way too hot in here. So I guess that's a positive. Overall, I think that's really it's great. I think it's a great problem to have. Astronomicon has been growing every year, and that's going to mean some cramped spaces. But next year we get bigger.
It's the best problem to have, isn't it? Like, wouldn't you say like this is the best problem to have? It's a goddamn success.
Yeah, absolutely. And like everybody's like, oh well, you should know. Well, how can you know? Like, you can't just be like, we're gonna get the biggest thing we can get and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to like on this venue, and then you get a third of the crowd you're expecting, and you just have to swallow all that money. Like, that's just not how things work. You have to sort of gauge things as you go.
And here's another thing. They're still learning. This is only the sixth one. We're not even in double digits yet. This is still very new.
Yeah, and growth, incremental growth is the safer, better bet. And we've seen that the size of the guests have increased, the size of the venues have increased, the things that their ambitions, those have grown, and they're trying to do more things and incorporate things that we'll enjoy. And really, it's a good blend of different things that we get from horror. We get, comedians, wrestling. You get a little bit of everything. And I know people want, a lot of times they're like, oh, they want a theme, or I want to see like all these wrestlers. The thing with Astro is it's not a wrestling con. It's not a horror con. They call it a pop culture con. And I try to say that when I talk to other people, like, well, I don't want to say Comic Con because it's not really all about comic books, but it is about pop culture. So I think that's a really good title.
I just leave it at con or convention. I don't tell people. I tell people what kind of guests might be there. So with the Bruise and Blaze situation, they had some cornhole games and some pong set up. I dug the atmosphere. This was the second time they had done this. They said they played a lot more games and shit last year. Evidently, nobody was really into that. Gonna blame that mostly on the weather. Gonna put a lot of that feeling on the weather because it started to snow by that point. And when I say snow, I mean falling down like a slant.
Yeah, and if it hadn't been warm and maybe you get cornhole is more appropriate outside, and a lot of things, it's going to come down to that space. It takes up a lot of space to do, beer pong or water pong or whatever they're playing there. And then cornhole takes up a decent amount of space, and then all the other stuff going on. It's kind of space restricted. So definitely a good throw to goddamn snowstorm ruining everything.
So we get a dope ass performance from Red. I'm a big fan of Red. I know a lot of people. I like Red, and I give him some of the best chance to cross over amongst all of these artists that we listen to regularly. And I always like that they start shows with him. I know eventually as he gets older and gets bigger, that'll be less and less. But I like that they start shows with him because it puts everybody in a good fucking mood. Gets everyone ready for a party atmosphere.
He definitely has that like really positive, like let's have a good time. He doesn't, I've never really seen, I don't think I've ever seen Red where like he's in a bad mood or grumpy. Like he just seems like he's ready to have fun, and that really it sets it up.
No, and the only song that you can really credit that is like really kind of horrorcore is like Sleeper Cell, and that feature that's not even his track. That's just a feature that he's on with ROC, which is a dope ass track. But we get Red, and he gets everybody ready for a party, and then we get everyone's favorite dysfunctional luchador brothers, the super famous Fun Time guys. If you haven't seen them live, if you haven't met these guys, I can't tell you fucking anything. I really couldn't prepare you for it. We have interviews. You really do. You really do. You either get it or you don't. If you want to know anything about them, we have 2 previous interviews you can go back and listen to.
Yeah.
They're not horrible, actually.
Check that out. Hey.
But they bring what they do, that whimsical nature that they bring to the mania. And on top of everything else, they're really, really, really skilled fucking rappers. Their lyricism is just, both of them are just, they're just goddamn great. I can't say enough of it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's, to me, you can see that they work on the craft and they try to get better. And, you know, it shows they've grown so much over just this little short amount of time.
Oh
That,
yeah,
you know,
from our album, from our album to Mom's Not Offended, holy shit.
Yeah. So, and like just their flows, they're getting more complex, and you can notice them, and they use a lot of flows that you don't see a lot of other rappers using. So, yep, I love those guys.
A lot of crazy fucking metaphors and shit like that. But anyway,
He still won't tell me what the fuck the wallpaper's about, though.
And they never will. They never will. You're not going to get that. You should have worked that shit in the heart of the matter. You should have fucking got one of them. You should have got one of them. Should have fucking got one.
I knew you were just going to shut up and tell me no. I get
Yeah. But anyway, so ROC and Blaze, they come out and they do a split little set, and Blaze is always just a fun show. His energy is always infectious. I always enjoy seeing the big man perform. And every time I see him, I forget how fucking big he really is. Like, I really do. He is a massive amount of human.
He's a very, very tall gentleman. I will say, when I was working on some of the photos I was taking, Lori commented, it looks like Blaze might be slimming down a little bit. Face looking a little thinner. So keep it up.
Oh, yeah. Big man on a yoga trend or something. Who knows? I'm
gonna find out if he's doing yoga. I would love to hear about the Blaze yoga routine.
Yeah. Downward facing bong. But anyway, so after Brews with Blaze, that's our opening. That's our opener. That's what gets everyone ready for what this weekend is going to be. They let us into the con floor. Getting tickets. It's always funny whether or not it's going to be an issue. And I also want to say this: kudos to the people running the ticket booths. They were really, really fucking nice this year. The staff this year, I don't know how many were return staff or not, but like everybody was informative. They were quick to answer questions. They were happy to be there. No one seemed like they were working per se. I want to say that too.
Yeah. I've noticed the couple that we've been to, it's been overall the actual event staff have been really good. The different venues working with their staff kind of up and down, but that's kind of not really their control.
Different story,
but yeah, people
not at all.
At Astro, and even the people that are working and making sure everybody knows where they're going, and not clogging up the hallways.
So by the time they release us to go get our tickets and let everybody in and everything, you should have already probably had your VIP passes and shit before this if you were smart. But we seen what the weather was going to be like as we were walking around to the other side to where the con is, and that's what it is. There's about a 20-foot distance walk between one side and the other.
I mean, it's a decent walk. It's not bad. You just got to go around to the one side of the building because you're on the back and you just got to walk to the front, and it's not like the widest building really.
No, it really isn't. It's not that god awful big. But so you walk down and you go inside. The first thing, like I said before, the first thing I noticed is that the con floor, everything feels way more spaced out and breathable. Nothing feels like it's on top of everything else. I will say this though, unfortunately for some of the bigger guests, their lines do get in the way. But this is something you have to understand as a guest. Get over it. You're going to have to just be like, excuse me, pardon me, and slide through. Unfortunately, you are going to have to talk to some people. You cannot be antisocial at these fucking things. And that's coming from the king of antisocial.
You try, but it's tough. And like you're saying, there seemed to be more room, especially, in the initial lobby entry area. They sort of kept that sort of wide open, but the panels and everything were sort of down one wing of the building, and then the main con was sort of, you had to go through security and everything. And once you enter the main hall, it was definitely bigger, and was great to be able to have some room. But we can tell, the reason you can sort of tell that we've probably outgrown that site is particularly the next day, Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday going in there was insane.
We'll get to Saturday because that is a whole fucking animal unto itself. So the highlight for me Friday was I met Doug Bradley. That's Pinhead, for those that don't know. That's a dream for me. That dude is one of my favorite monsters for as long as I can remember. He ruined most of my childhood and gave me nightmares for as long as I can remember because I watched those movies way too young.
Yeah, I don't know. Friday, yeah, I mean, really, it was Brews with Blaze, get the layout of the place, and that's really all I did on Friday. It was just sort of figure out what we were planning for the rest of the week and sort of how everything's set up.
Sized up the merch booth, looked at Monoxide's personal pop collection that he's selling. Yeah. God damn, son, it must be good. It's good to have money. That's all I can say.
I mean, that's always. There's definitely some cool stuff to see. I did pop by eventually. I don't remember what day it was. I did pick up a Ninja Turtle figure from my childhood from the booth. But yeah, Friday was really just figuring everything out and then get back to the hotel and get ready for Saturday, because that's the main
sizing event. Up. Yep. Really just sizing everything up. There were some panels. We stopped in and got to listen to Harley Quinn and Jason Mewes.
Oh yeah, we did catch the end of that. Yeah,
we caught the end of the Clerks panel. It wasn't long, but here's the thing: when you have these little VIP medallions, you could just really kind of come and go as you please. I'm not going to tell you that you have to spend the money, but it does make it makes things a little easier. I'm just going to say it. If you have it.
So the big key on the VIP, on the smaller panels, like the panel that we caught the end of with Jay and Harley Quinn, it wasn't a full room, and anybody could have just walked in there and enjoyed the panel. The VIP really comes into play if there's somebody that's going to be your big draw. I've been to, not Astronomicon. I don't think I've had an issue there because I've always had that lanyard, but I've been to places where we went and I didn't have one, and the panel I think was actually the panel for Scream when I'd done Horror Hound. So many people wanted to see that panel, they had to turn people away. And if you didn't have VIP, because obviously they have priority, you weren't getting in. I had a photo pass and was like, well, I won't even sit. I just need a space along the wall. I'm just going to take some pictures, and I was able to get in. But other than that, you couldn't get in that room. So if there's somebody like, that's going to have that kind of draw, then it might be worth it to go ahead and do that. Otherwise, understand you might have to miss that.
It's one of those things where it's maybe you want it, maybe you don't. But if you're really committed to seeing certain things or being a part of certain things, it's worth it. And for what you get, it's not that much. And PayPal paying for is a G. Just going to say that.
That is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. We are not licensed, bonded, or even educated in finance. So take that for what you will.
Not in any one way. So yeah, like you said, Friday was just kind of like getting the layout and like the weather, man. Like I hate to be like, oh, the weather, but it really did so much so that like we were done. Like we always usually check out the VIP party and killer karaoke and shit. It's usually one of our favorite things to do. Shout out to Dirk Manning. Shout out to Dirk Manning doing fucking Walk by Pandora. I've seen the video. Unfortunately, we weren't there because my old lady, she didn't get the VIP. Our other female companion, she didn't get the VIP. So we couldn't get them in, and since we couldn't get them in, we didn't want to go because that's kind of lame, leaving your other people. So we went back to our hotel room, and the only reason why I'm still going on about this, and this is future reference, if you have one and you can do it, bring your fucking air fryer to the hotel room.
Again, this is not legal advice. We're not even sure if it's legal to do that, but yeah, bring your air fryer. It's amazing.
If you can, bro. That hotel microwave, everybody knows it sucks dick. It's just common knowledge. It's not a good thing. It's not good. It might barely spin. It's not. It's just
Well, most people just
Sometimes,
argue that microwave food is terrible. So
I mean that too. That too. It's just like when it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and you know DoorDash ain't bringing you shit because it's literally Satan's dandruff asshole coming out the fucking window. Some cheese sticks going in the air fryer are pretty fucking cool. That's what I'm gonna say. But so we woke up to what had happened while we slept. And what had happened
yeah,
while we slept was goddamn 12 fucking inches of snow fell in a very short period of time.
yeah. Like that 12 inches. Who knows? It was a lot. It was insane, and it literally when we got there, on Thursday, there was nothing, and then the
Nothing.
next day
Nothing.
there was, and it sort of started uh, earlier, but eventually it just became, well, it was already cold and now there's snow everywhere, so walking anywhere became a nightmare because, well, the snow plow, they did plow the parking spaces ish, as best they could, I suppose.
Well, they
But
filled
that
back up
also,
pretty fucking quick.
they did, and I guess, they could only push it so far, so some of the spots were like 2/3 plowed,
Yep.
just because of the amount of snow that was piled into the corner. But the worst part was just our hotel was actually within walking distance because we'd planned it to be close and it was perfect, except
Well,
for these giant snow drifts that you had to walk through in your tennis shoes with those lovely wet socks
oh,
afterwards.
God,
So
wet socks. Wet socks are the bane of my fucking existence that weekend. If my socks were people, I would have fought them. But, and I fucked up double hard because I didn't realize I had a hole in my shoe.
yeah, he did find a giant hole in his shoe, so it worked out even better for him.
Oh,
Quite a
yeah.
miserable day.
But like
But
here's the thing. Both main hotels, the one we stayed at and the Holiday Inn, they both were in walking distance of the venue and safe walking distance. You didn't have to worry about dodging cars or anything.
yeah,
And here's something juggalos know. When we go to events and they let us stay for longer than a day, we tend to take over these little areas we're in. And we walk, which is what we do. Like fucking cockroaches and locusts, we're a plague. But it was nice to be able to have walking distance between the venue and the hotel, because, as we stated, if you got parked somewhere, you didn't move. If you had a parking space, don't move. Saturday was a walking kind of day, and he's right. Because of that, the snow became another fucking issue.
yeah, yeah. But so Saturday, the weather really just was the key to the whole thing as much of the
Well,
weekend because
there was no snow on Saturday that was falling. It was all on the ground.
yeah, I guess it was just the havoc that it wrecked caused flights to be canceled and delayed,
Well,
and
we're
travel
going
was
to get to
terrible.
that. We're going to get to that. So this man and I are like, we got the bright idea because we have our awesome Kevin Smith VIPs. We're like, hey, we're walking distance. Let's walk over like an hour before everything's
Yeah,
going to start so we can get in line. We got there and we realized we weren't the only people that had that idea.
which
But
I knew would happen, but there was only a couple at that point.
6 or 7, give or take.
Yeah,
We're all sitting there and we're doing our illicit chemicals and hanging out and bullshitting and talking and doing our thing. And then suddenly we get told, it's being pushed back. Kevin's flight is wonky.
delayed at this point.
We don't know what's happening, but we know this is not happening now.
Yeah, so we went from being like the first 5 or 6 people there to we don't know when he's going to be here, so just watch
Go away.
your phone and we'll let you know.
Go away. Stop standing here.
That's, well, they didn't even say we didn't we could have kept standing there, but like I know that plane delays aren't like a 10-minute thing, so it's best just to walk away at this point.
So
we did.
We link back up with our 2 female companions. We go and we walk the con floor some more because that's literally all we can do now. That's literally it. We are in flux. We have no other choice. I didn't bring a whole lot of money, so I didn't try to talk to a whole lot of people because I didn't want to pay to talk to people. Which, just know, you kind of have to.
I mean, not necessarily talk to him, but like,
I mean, if you want an autograph, if you want anything like that, it is going to cost money. Don't think anybody's going to give you anything for free. Although the great Doug Bradley was handing out photos for free.
Yeah, exactly. Some you can get, some free signatures, some free little selfies, but a lot of times, it's still, they're there to make money. That's why we're here. Yes, it's great to meet
But
people, but
that being said, they are infinitely approachable. They are very nice, and they're there. That's what they're there for. They're there to make money and be cool with their fans. That's what they're doing.
yeah, like if you don't want a physical item, you just want to say, hey, I loved you in this. It's really cool. I got a question, whatever. You shake somebody's hand. That's
They have no problem with
for that. Most people are happy to be there and they enjoy interacting with fans. Some are less enthusiastic than others, but
John Lovitz looked like he'd rather be any fucking where but where he was at.
But isn't that just John Lovitz though? He probably just assumed that
when Whipstick was like, he wanted to walk up to him and hit him with the critic and be like, "You stink." I fucking lost it, because that was the best one. I walked past him. I didn't get the reaction I wanted. I walked past him and I went, "That's the ticket," and he looked up at me and went, like, "Oh, okay. You said something I performed on TV like 40 fucking years ago."
Oh, you said the thing.
You said the thing.
Thanks.
So on top of Saturday being, so far we're kind of at a bit of a downer. My great friend decided he wanted to do some interviewing for his other side project. That's the Heart of the Matter. If you didn't know, go watch that shit. There's only one episode right now, but it's pretty fucking good. We got 3 more coming for you. I got to find out what it's like to be a human dolly.
Yeah, and we're still gonna find out how good of a job you did.
Fuck you.
Listen, all I'm saying is, maybe you need to take like some marching band. You have the weirdest gait I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's because I'm a broken. It's because I'm a broken human.
Maybe, I don't know. It's weird. Like you step and kneel and step. It was very, very odd, but we'll see. We're gonna make it work.
Either way, so we knocked a few of those out. We killed some more time, but in going through all of that, we finally got the final confirmation. Jason Lee is not coming. Kevin Smith is not coming.
Yeah. So yeah, and that kind of was literally our entire evening.
It really was.
Sort of revolved around Kevin Smith that day. So, yeah, we did some interviews, took care of getting some food and really just getting ready for the evening festivities, really. Actually, we did do another walk around the con floor just to...
We walked around the con floor a few times, talked to the homie Dirk Manning. I love you, Dirk. Shout out to that crazy dude. We
got to do laps so you could get your picture signed too.
Yep. I had to. There's an artist. She's been there a few times. I don't remember her name, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name. But you gonna show off your thing?
Yeah, because I bought this from her.
I'm not gonna go dig out what I bought, but everybody knows that awesome ass shirt that is Split, Monoxide, and Michael Myers and Jamie and Jason Voorhees. I had her. She had 2 prints, and I had her autograph both of them, and I said I wasn't leaving until I got them autographed, because I'm going to have Twisted sign them next year. But I walked around, and what was my words? I'm not leaving until I find this artist, and there are Fat Boys in a Box.
Yeah, that's true. We did have to go. You did need to go see the Fat Boys in a Box.
And if you're wondering what I mean, I had to go see the Zool Boys in the autograph box. Billy Obey was late, which was fucking hilarious, because he was late so he could show up dressed like Norman Bates' mom.
I mean, at least he had a good reason.
I mean, he did. He had a damn good reason. And this is the thing I love about Astro. These artists that we are fans of, that we listen to all year, they have dedicated time to be in this autographed area where they will sign anything you want. They will fucking talk to you, shake your hand, take any picture. and it's all for free. You don't get shit for free at most other places from the artists like that. I wanted to bring that up. I forgot to touch on that for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like back in the day when we had like in stores at record stores and stuff, and you could go in and meet the artist and they'd sign your stuff. It's kind of like that, only it's
it's really the exact same vibe. It's the same fucking vibe. It's a big ass in store. I never thought about it like that.
So we did that, and then got ready to do
Lunatics
the concerts and everything.
And you know the worst part about it? We were stressing about whether the panel was going to start during anybody we gave a fuck or not.
Yeah.
Do you want to know? I took a secret biting irony, knowing that wouldn't have mattered if things would have gone off the way they were supposed to.
Yeah.
So the concert was dope. It always is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buckshot is he's a great fucking artist. We did an interview with him. Go watch that. Yep. AXE always kills it. I feel bad for most people who have to follow them, but people did because that's what they do. Blaze came out and held it down like he did. Twisted always. I love that their set is never the same fucking thing. I never see. If I see them 4 times in a year, each time I see them, I'm going to hear a different set every time. I really, really am a fan of knowing that I never know what I'm going to get. It's never the same thing. And that's why I pay the money to go.
Yeah. And I mean, at the same time, you can also go knowing that song you love, they're probably going to play that one.
You're going to hear one of them. It's like this. If they don't play Secondhand Smoke, they play Mutant X. If they don't play fucking renditions of Reality, they play fucking. You know what I mean? It's always something. You're going to get something. All of us old heads, the new heads that are coming along. There's something for everybody.
And I guess that happens when you can select from 25 years or so worth of songs. You can really pick the cream of the crop. So.
Yeah. You brought up an interesting topic. Where's Draven? No Draven. He usually at least makes an appearance. He usually at least makes an appearance at Astronomicon.
Yeah, and that's business stuff. I don't know. I know people that don't particularly care for him and the drumming, and I thought he was a great guy. I thought it'd be cool to just run into him, but didn't happen. But
eat a dick. Anybody who don't like Draven, like for real, eat a dick. You don't like him. You don't like him because you don't like what music is changing, and you just want shit to stay the same and be stale. So yeah, eat a dick. I just wanted to point that one out.
I mean, fair. So we did the concert. We're all old and very broken. So after the concert, there was no hanging out with all the cool people.
I gotta go into something. Yeah, there was a little mosh pit for AXE. It did get pretty rough too. I'm not proud of this story I'm about to tell, but I have to tell it.
Oh God.
Here I am doing my wrecking ball thing, just crushing people, and I look down and I see that there are 4 children of varying ages that I'm going to wager from 10 to maybe 12, all 4 of them. And like their dad looks at me and I look at him and the kids and he's like, go ahead, hit him. And I was like, did he just fucking tell me to hit his kids? And I'm just going to ask you as a parent, would you allow your child in a mosh pit with me?
No.
Just no. Mm-hmm. Just no. So I didn't hit the kid. I hit his dad into him. And then
I mean, that's fair.
I guess it's fair. But as the and it was only for like 3 songs that it really happened. And as it was happening, and like we were fucking being human blenders, somehow or another, and I don't think I did this, but somehow or another, one of them definitely caught a bloody nose. But I will say this, he walked out with a smile and a tissue stuffed up his fucking nose hole.
Great. So you made another one of you. Congratulations on that, I suppose.
I feel like more of that falls on the fathers, plural, fathers, because they weren't related. Fathers, I think it falls on them more than it does me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely like a more. It's a more like a 80-20, but you now have helped shape the future generation. How does that make you feel? Good, I hope.
Upward inflections, proud.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was the
that,
show. Twisted did their thing. It was so awesome. This is half the reason why we come to Astro, because it's not just a con, it's also this.
yeah, and I guess my one kind of funny story from the concert before we wrap up Saturday. I was out in the smoking section, hanging out with Mr. Eight Legs for a while, and
Name drop.
well, I had to because
Don't worry, I'll have one of mine in just a minute.
well, it's just funny because I'm not going to tell his whole story, but he ended up needing cash because they only took cash and all he had was his card. So I gave him some cash. And you see how hard he's laughing? He knows the stories. So when you see Mr. Eight Legs, ask him about what happened at Lunatics of the Galaxy and why he did not have any cash.
Ask him. Oh my God. That's seriously, that might be one of the funniest fucking things I've ever heard. And we're not going to tell you about it.
Nope. You got to ask him and maybe he'll tell you.
I don't know. I have a feeling he will tell anyone who asks with great fervor.
I think he will. I think so. Absolutely. So
yeah, that was Saturday. That was Saturday. We could have hung out and did the thing, but like he said, we're old, and I didn't.
And it was cold. If it had been warm, I think I would have stayed out. But it was cold as balls, and I was like, "Fuck this! Go get out of here."
And I didn't realize how hard I had actually gone in the mosh pit, and I broke one of my cardinal rules. I didn't limber up.
He didn't stretch out. You got to remember to stretch. Always stretch. Which actually brings me to sort of what the next day we pretty much
Sundays always say your goodbyes. Buy that thing you were putting off buying, hoping it's still there. Get that autograph you were hoping to get because the lines are going to be small. This is the Sunday for Astronomicon. That's what you do. But here's my turn to do a name drop. We ran into Lee Carver of the Ala Zululu in the parking lot, and I've been given another tag onto my nicknames. I am now the Jewish Wrecking Ball, courtesy of Lee Carver.
There you go. Another little nickname for you, which is exactly what you needed, I suppose.
I mean, it's just positive reinforcement that I should keep hurting people.
All right. Well. So that kind of actually brings me around to the last couple things we want to talk about here with you guys is what would you say was your top 3 moments of this Astro?
All weekend?
Yeah, all weekend. What are your top 3? And I'll give my top 3.
Okay, I'll get the third one out of the way easy because it is always easy. Homies. I love seeing my Astro homies, my show homies, the people who I know I'm only going to see at these events. That's 3 for me. What do you got?
So I guess 3. I don't know if there's going to be any particular order, but I think one of my favorite things was while we were, I can't remember what we were doing, but I do know that Muse came rolling through the hallway.
Oh my God!
On a motorized suitcase, zipping around.
It was so fucking cool. No place in the world did I ever think I was going to be standing. I believe we were standing with Big Vin Dustin, and he came driving around.
Yeah, just whipped out coolest suitcase ever. So yeah, that's going to be my number 3.
2 for me. Doug Bradley. That was a lifetime goal. That is one of those things that I am glad that I did. I only have a picture to document it, but it's a dope ass picture.
There you go. I think for me, the number 2 is probably not that it was difficult, but it became a journey for me, and it finally was completed. I got my Freak Show vinyl signed. on the inner gatefold, and I'm super excited to be able to get that done. So, because I forgot the last Astro, we went to Astro 4. I was going to get it done then. I left it at home, so I was pretty excited to get that taken care of. So that's definitely number 2.
Number 1 for me, I kind of got a tie on number 1. The beautiful 100% legal cannabis. It's all
okay. That's not fair.
I don't care.
That's cheating.
I don't care. And the concert. I always fucking love the show that they put on at Astro, because it's their biggest show of the year, so they really go all out for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so my number 1 actually, and I saved it on purpose because this is going to be a bit of a surprise, I think, because I'm not a mask collector.
He's
like
not.
You and many of the other Zooligans. I just have my 2 Lucha Idiot masks.
You do.
But my favorite moment of Astro, I think, that mask from what was it? Little Monsters was the name of the movie.
Yep. That
mask was so good.
Really,
good.
Your number 1 moment was Billy Obey's Little Monsters mask.
I don't know why, but that, like, it just connected with the child in me. It made me like, it was so happy to see that he did that, and like that's something obviously he loves too. I just thought that was the dopest mask.
The dopest part of the mask is the broken horn and the earring.
Yeah, I mean, the details matter, and I know, like, obviously it's Astro, there's cosplay, but to tie it in with their persona and the selection of character, chef's kiss. Beautiful.
Chef's kiss. So that brings us to our closing arguments in this. I'd like to call this do's and don'ts. Also, maybe things to prepare for. I'm going to hit you with one right now. Do not plan your entire experience around one event, because card is subject to change.
Yep. Yeah, we had the VIP for Kevin, and we still didn't let that become a hindrance. Like, yes, that was the big draw, and that was the big sort of thing for the weekend, but there was enough other stuff that
I still had a good time. It was, and
still had a great time.
It was a weekend away from home amongst some of my best friends, and again, sweet legal Chiba.
Yeah. The other thing that I would say that I've sort of learned is you're going to need to be early and make
punctual.
Sure you
be punctual at the very fucking least. Don't be a juggalo about this shit. They're not going to wait for you.
Yeah, it's not going to wait, and get it, especially on Saturday when things are busier.
Yep.
Or I guess actually Sunday, the one year when they brought in Alexa Bliss on Sunday, that day was crazy.
Oh,
but that was just understand that
nightmare.
If you think that's a big name draw, you're not the only one that's going to be there. So parking and lines, they're going to be increased. So you need to plan ahead on how you're going to manage and maximize your time and be able to do the things you want to do and plan be as stress-free as possible.
I would say to be safe, if you can't give it an hour, plan for at least a half an hour in advance of anything you intend to do.
Yeah. Definitely do that.
Because
what other tips you got for these people?
Bring your own food and drink. Leave it in your fucking car. I don't want to be like, oh, don't buy their food, but it's kind of expensive. Bring your own.
Definitely bring your own food, especially for your main meals. Like, yeah, it is expensive to eat a con, but if you want to grab a slice of pizza, do that. But don't try to like get yourself full and have a full meal there. That's really not what that's meant to be, and it's gonna cost a lot if you do that, especially if you do it every single day. So definitely bring some of your own food, or stop at a Walmart, the day before. If you come in early, is a good recommendation. Actually, that's actually kind of my next point. If you can at all, get up there the night before, or at least aim to be there, in the morning. Don't do the plan where like, well, it's this long.
If you have a 7-hour trip, if you plan to do that 7 hours on Friday, you were literally missing a whole day of the con.
Yeah, and even if you get there on time, like if you leave first thing in the morning and you get there right when things open, you just drove for 7 hours. You're going to be tired. So definitely at minimum, I recommend if, to be there, at minimum 4 to 5 hours before the con is actually supposed to start. Get yourself there that morning. That way you can at least get acclimated and figure out where things are, especially as we keep going to different venues. You're going to want to have some clue what's going on so you can feel a little more comfortable at the con and make sure you're able to do all the things you're wanting to do.
This next one is a biggie, and it's going to sound kind of vague. Be cool. What I mean by that is you are going to have instances, you are going to have occasions where you are going to have a potential to get one-on-one unique experiences with some of your favorite artists, entertainers. It's just, and I know you're like, well, what do you mean by that? Literally, standing outside smoking a blunt, I got to talk to Peter Dante. I didn't have to pay for it. I didn't have to do anything. I just got to have a little one-on-one rap session with him because I was cool and I didn't run up and start immediately blowing his dick and being like, oh my God, you're my favorite ever, ever, ever. What I mean by that is understand they're people. They're cool people, but they're people. So be cool about it.
Yeah. Definitely. And so this one is, I don't know how useful this will be to a lot of people. This is just sort of my personal experience, I guess.
Hold on, I got a caveat. I got a caveat back to something. When I said bring your own food and drink, I mean leave it in your car, go outside, get it, because you're gonna have those times where you're gonna be in and out of the con. It's just,
yeah, you're not stuck in the building. Like you can go out and come back in. So just be prepared.
I didn't want to get anybody in trouble for getting caught with a bag of Doritos in his pocket.
Make sure you have your cameras.
Yeah.
What was it?
I said I didn't want to get anybody in trouble for telling them to think that I was telling them to bring a bag of Doritos in their pocket.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, don't do that. Just leave it in your car so you're prepared. Bring your camera. Make sure your phone's charged. Not only to be able to contact your group should you get split up, but so you can get pictures with artists or whoever it is while you're at the con floor or outside. You'll want to have that. And if you're like me, you have a big giant camera. I guess bring that too. One of the last things I want to talk about now that we give you a couple tips. Try to remember, because this is to just be social.
Yeah.
Don't let it be a regret because that you didn't talk to somebody. And that's something I know. We're on a show on the internet talking to all you, but in person, it's hard for me to walk up and talk to somebody like that. So get over it.
He is the antisocial one, surprisingly.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
It really
say hi. Make sure you get those memories.
What he's saying is don't be scared to walk up and say hello. You have to understand, and this is just slang term. I love it though. Scared money don't make none. If you want something, ask, come up and talk. I know someone who was very persistent, and because of this, she's going to be getting a crew jersey from one Joey Black. I'm not saying that you can get everything you want, but what I'm saying is it does not hurt to ask.
Right. So yeah, I mean,
I guess
that's sort of
the last thing we want to leave you guys with is, so we've done 3 Astros now. 3.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess we'll go ahead and rate them. Astro 3, 4, and 6 is what we got. I'm going to go ahead and say, just because of sheer nostalgia, Astro 3 still remains my favorite. Number 1 with a bullet.
So that one, it was definitely cool. And it's hard to rate them because none of them were bad. All right, let's start there. None of these are bad. All 3 times we had a great time. It just, each one sort of had a little different flavor to it. And I think really, for me, I liked Astro 4 only slightly more than the other 2 because it was the only one we had where it was warm. The other 2 were cold, and I hate the cold. Like, that's why I despise the cold.
But that's the problem I had with 4 is it was too
hot.
It was too hot. There was too much. There was too much shit they wanted us to do outside in the goddamn 90 degrees with no shade.
And I think that's, I don't know what you can do about that. Like, you tried it, you don't want to do too hot, you don't want to do too cold, and then they tried to go with like a springy, like out late end of winter this time, and like the day before it would have been perfect, 70s and warm, and then the next day when Astro starts, it's like, no, I'm gonna be cold again. So there's nothing they can do to control it.
Sunday was beautiful fucking weather. We didn't even wear coats most of the time. Yeah, when everybody was leaving. When everybody was leaving. So yeah. So here's my order. Astro 3 is number 1. Astro 6 is number 2. Astro 4 is number 3.
Dead last. Wow.
Dead last. I didn't fucking like the hotel. I didn't like the extra shit. I didn't like the extra shit we paid for. I didn't like that there was a wedding booked at the same time and all of these people were looking down on us.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was very weird. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that now. Yeah. You know what then? I would actually, and maybe this is just recency bias, even without Kevin Smith, I think maybe 6-3-4.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
You had that good of a time, even though we got fucked in the ass on that.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, we got to see all of our friends, still met a lot of really cool people. Just, I didn't get to see one person. I still met some really cool people and had a good time.
And just to caveat the whole situation, we will be back next year because M&E they gave us all a choice, and I kind of understand the choice. We still went to the con, we still did shit, so a full refund is not in the cards. But a full refund of the things we didn't get would be. And I looked at the value, and I'm like, I'm getting more money if I just take everything for next year. And this is the lesson.
That's if it's next year, because I did get an email that said they're trying to do it beforehand. But personally, Astronomicon, Dustin, Mike, George, if you guys are watching,
I'd rather just wait. I'd rather just wait.
I would rather wait.
I'd rather wait.
And I think a lot of us probably feel the same. There's vacation time involved. There's travel cost. There's a lot of things involved, and I don't know what will be easier for you, but if our opinion matters any as the guests that are coming, I think we would prefer, honestly, just to wait and just wait for Astro 7 and
which we'll be at again, the whole reason why we really did this wasn't just a recap. I seen some people online who were hating, and I guess they just didn't understand where the fuck they were at. And the last one I want to bring up, people are going to get high in front of the building. Stop pissing and moaning about that.
Well, okay, so I will touch on this. So, listen, I get it, which it is a legal state, but don't get mad that there is smoking going on. It's going to happen. However, I do understand, don't stand by the front door. Like, just be considerate. Like, even like smoking cigarettes, like that's long been kind of like, I don't really know what word you want to use, but like just common decency, I guess. Like, you don't stand by the front door where a common area where people are coming through. So, I think maybe a little give and take is due. Don't do it by the front door, but understand that it's going to be in the area and that's going to happen. But, a little respect goes a long way, and just take it to the backside or around the corner or something.
Pretty much. And the last thing I want to bring up before we get out of here, I have been asked, lucky enough, I will be hosting 2 events coming up very soon. So as you can see on the graphic, this is Tooth Fest. This is my homie Toothache. This will be taking place at Carl's Tavern. Myself and the big homie Scotty Vance, we like to call ourselves the 2-man tower of power. Come out and get that 26 shit, some sun, just a great fucking night. Carl's Tavern is one of my favorite venues. I love going here, and you get to listen to me with a microphone in my hand. And this next one, I'm super fucking proud of, because I'm not going to say I started it, because that's not the right term. I'll just say I championed it. Anybody who knows, last year I pushed really hard for a kind of a tailgate event before Camp Zool 2. We were calling it Day Zero. We refer to it as the DZG, or the Day Zero Gang. And we made so much noise and had such a good ass fucking time that we got a sponsor. And the Forever Face Alley and all the admins, I want to thank everybody, Weasel, Coachella, Pretzel, my homie. We're going to be doing something even bigger than we did last year. Some barbecue shit, some games and shit. And as you can see, the homie Weasel, hosted by the ultimate Zooligan sex symbol. I didn't request that, but I'll wear the crown, I guess.
All right, guys. Well, now you know what it was like for us on our adventure, what it was like at Astronomicon, what you can expect a little bit of if you do decide to make the trip to Astronomicon yourself,
It's
which
worth it.
I highly recommend doing.
Go at least
And
once.
you also know what's coming up in the future, where you can find Fats and where you can find other Zooligans and Juggalos and friends and maybe some family and maybe like your next future ex-wife, if that's so what you are searching for. If not,
For some
come
motherfuckers,
hang out.
that is in the cards. For some motherfuckers, that is in the cards.
It's in the cards. So on that note, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, listening to us talk a bunch of shit about an awesome event, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.